Hi class, I'm Simone Kinsman, Miss Kinsman, and today we're going to start off with our nonfiction reading for the um, grading period, and we're going to be reading The Little Prince. It's illustrated and written by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. It's a French name, kind of hard for me to pronounce. It's a really famous book in all languages all over the world, and it's one of my favorites, so I'm really excited. We're going to be learning a lot of new vocabulary. We're going to talk about the craft and structure, the different points of view, the different characters who are involved in telling the story. We're going to also go over a lot of comprehension because this is a more difficult book than you guys are normally used to, so we're going to have a lot of new vocabulary that we're going to have to reinforce, and we're going to learn new things. And we're going to be asking a lot of questions while doing the reading so we can make sure you guys are understanding what's going on. And we're also going to be talking about what the author's intent in telling the story was, which we haven't really gone over that much. So I'm really excited. Afterwards, we're going to answer some questions you're going to discuss in your group. And then you're going to come together as a class. I'm going to give you a question, you're going to discuss it, and then we're going to tell each other our thoughts about it. I asked you guys to do this tip chart at home before you got here to help you remember some of the vocabulary that we're going to be using for this class and this chapter, because we're going to be starting on chapter 1. We read a little bit last week, but we're going to finish it. On this side, you guys, you had your different terms. So we have like boa constrictor, primeval as an adjective. Then we have the Sahara, thunderstruck, and disheartened as our other adjectives. And so right here, you wrote what it was, hopefully if you did your homework. For instance, we have the Sahara, and then we have that it's the largest hot desert in the world located in Africa. And then just to reinforce, you guys were asked to draw a picture of it, just so to help you remember. So, if you forget kind of what the term is, you can maybe remember the picture. And so refer to these as we're reading along. Okay. So, we left off where the narrator had drawn a picture of the boa constrictor eating the elephant. And excuse my copy, it's very old. I've read it a whole bunch. I showed my masterpiece to the grown-ups and asked them whether the drawing frightened them. But they answered, "Frightened? Why should anyone be frightened by a hat?" My drawing was not a picture of a hat. It was a picture of a boa constrictor digesting an elephant. But since the grown-ups were not able to understand it, I made another drawing. I drew the inside of the boa constrictor so that the grown-ups could see it clearly. They always need to have things explained. My drawing number 2 looked like this. The grown-up's response this time was to advise me to lay aside my drawings of boa constrictors, whether from the inside or the outside, and devote myself instead to geography, history, arithmetic, and grammar. That is why, at the age of 6, I gave up what might have been a magnificent career as a painter. I had been disheartened by the failure of my drawing number 1 and my drawing number 2. Grown-ups never understand anything by themselves, and it's tiresome for children to always and forever be explaining things to them. So obviously we would finish the chapter. So now I want you guys to get into your groups and consider the following questions. Ideally they would have read more. So one is, who is the narrator? And they will have already met the prince. And who is his main subject? And the other one is, why do you think the author became a pilot instead of pursuing his career as an artist? And why do you think the adults in the story would discourage him from painting? So then the students will discuss with one another those questions. They're a little higher level questions than they're maybe used to. Not so much who, what, why, when, where, but like, well, why? And that's it. And then we would come together and talk about it more. That's about it.